Here in Emerson, these illegal migrants, their tracks, their route essentially, as far as I'm concerned, has created a much longer underground railway, if you will, stretching way further up into the province than what we saw in Quebec. In Quebec, when these migrants were apprehended by RCMP, they were then shuffled off to Canadian Border Services agencies to be processed. They were then put inside a holding cell. What we see here is a massive web and network in order to facilitate the care for these illegals. A nearby town about 26 kilometers away from here, Gretna, we've seen the one nursing home in the area converted into a refugee holding area. My cameraman, editor, and myself, we went there, and they said that we couldn't come in because we were media. I'll remind you that, we're all taxpayers. Wouldn't it be nice to see what sort of accommodations have been made for these fake refugees? Once they leave Gretna, they are then brought all the way over to Winnipeg to yet another refugee holding place called Welcome Place. And then there's another one, Salvation Army. So what you see now is a massive network stretching across the entire bottom half of Manitoba, essentially, in order to care for this influx of fake refugees. We talked to the Reeve, Greg Jansen over here. We talked to officials from the local fire department. We talked to a couple of guys at the bar. Not so many people want to come on camera, although the ones that did, you'll be seeing our footage, and I urge you to watch our YouTube channel and go to guardtheborder.com in order to stay on top of this. But what I've ascertained from them is this. What started off as goodwill in this town, of good Canadian openness and, hey, it's cold and maybe you have a family, has now turned into an enormous amount of donor fatigue. What they say is that the numbers, while they fluctuated, they've seen anywhere between 90% single men to 10% families to then perhaps around 70% males and 30% families. So again here, what we have seen in common with Quebec is the fact that the majority of the people coming in are unaccompanied Muslim men from the Middle East. And I should mention the fact that because the border is shared here with Minnesota, Minnesota right now has a huge number of Somalian refugees where, by the way, there has been a measles outbreak. There's a lot going on the ground here. Just about everyone that we've talked to, and I'll leave you with this, has said this. They want Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to come visit Emerson, Manitoba. We've seen some of the Conservative Party leadership candidates and some of just the MPs come out and stand in solidarity with these Canadians. We've seen Kelly Leach out here. We've also seen just several different Conservatives. We have not seen any Liberals. And is it any wonder that our Prime Minister now says that Canadians see this border crisis as, his words, positive as well as exciting, and that we are proud? I would say, Mr. Prime Minister, how about you get your 2 feet on the ground here in Emerson and realize that your narrative does not jive with the folks on the ground?